Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the dark and scary, why did I say scary like that? The dark and scary truth of the dungeons. Now, I have two theories on what the dungeons are. And these two theories support some sort of evidence. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, if we go to the English dictionary and search up dungeon, this will come up. And it says a strong underground prison cell, especially in a castle. And that brings us to our first theory. And that is that these dungeons were a place of execution. What do I mean by that? So, let me take an illustration real quick. Let's say you were a criminal in the ancient builder time, and you did a crime that landed you the death sentence. Now, if this happened, then you would have probably been trialed, and you would have been thrown into the dungeon with all of your memorabilia, which you got to pick. For example, disc 13, cat, wheat, buckets, and everything from this long list. And then they would put that in a chest. They would throw you in with either a spider spawner, a skeleton spawner, or a zombie spawner, and you'd be left there to die. And then eventually you would have died, and that would have concluded why it was called dungeon, because, well, it was a place to hold criminals. But I also have another theory, which also makes a lot of sense, just because of how similar it is to ancient Egypt and how they did things. And that is the tomb theory. Now, what this theory is I think my theory is that these dungeons are not just places of execution, but also tombs for people who had a higher social status or even a lower one. And what is inside the chest will reflect what is their social status. From wheat and buckets, meaning that they were part of the lower class, to gold and iron, meaning they were in the upper class. And this would have meant that this was a place to get buried. So let's say you're an average farmer working in the ancient builder time, and you're very old and you died of natural causes. Well, they would hold a funeral inside the dungeon. They'll bury you with all of the things that you need in the chests, such as wheat, water buckets, and all of that to show what social status you were and what social class were you in. And they would place a zombie, spider, or skeleton spawner to make sure no one disturbs your grave. Same thing with if you were a king in ancient builder time. You could have been chosen to be buried inside the dungeon, and you would have gold, silver, gold and iron inside of your tomb, inside of the chest, and then whatever spawner that you would wanted in your will. So these two theories back up so much evidence that I don't know which one to choose from, but I think both of them make sense. And if we look at both theories, they have some sort of ties to the real world. For example, in the tomb theory, they resemble a lot like what happened in ancient Egypt. They would have buried you inside a tomb, and they would be placed near a container where they would be placed all of your valuables to show that what social status you were and what social class you were in. And this would also make sense what a dungeon is, because if you see in human history, people were thrown into dungeons with a bunch of rats and they were left to die. So these two theories have both strong evidence, but still two different theories. So I hope that answers your question, and I think that's what the untold story of the ancient builder society and what the dungeons are used for. So that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!